I know by the title of this video you are assuming that I'm going to tell you that you should pack up your bags and leave your hometown immediately, move on to bigger and better things where there's more opportunities and a bigger chance for you to grow on your self-development journey. This would be the easy thing for me to say, where I'd be like, yep, you know, you show you the slightest bit of ambition and you kind of do feel like a big fish in a small pond, and that is quite natural. Particularly in a world where a lot of young guys just don't have that anymore. People get to 25, 30 and that's just drained out of them for whatever reason. Society, bad habits, social media, just not having any kind of personal pride. Like, this is a bit of a side note, but that's just how it is. So it's natural that we kind of reach that point, that crossroads where we're like, okay, there's not really much more I can do here. I've kind of reached a ceiling. And this is something that I've found myself toying with for the last few years. And I think if it was not for personal circumstances in my life, the chances of me leaving were very high. And even further afield, moving out the country is something that I very much envisaged myself doing a couple of years ago. Whereas now things have changed significantly. And I'm a big believer in things happening for a reason. And we are where we are today. And I'm happy with where I am today, with how things have worked out, but things could have been very differently if different things happened in my life. So let's start with this. Why would you want to leave your hometown? Well, I think there's three big things that you would consider, and I think the first one, as I mentioned, your personal growth. You do feel like a big fish in a small pond, so to speak. I think for myself, kind of being in like a small town in the middle of the country in the UK, I very much feel this is the case, where especially younger people, they don't have a very similar mindset to myself. Obviously, I've got a few good people around me with a similar mindset, but I just look around, I go out and about, and there's just a very lack of that. And people are very much okay with living a very mundane life for myself, that I would consider that. And I don't think a lot of people really have any ambition to go above and beyond maybe what their parents have achieved, and just living a very comfortable life is okay for most people. And I find it very hard to relate to a lot of people around my local area. So this is a big reason why myself and you are most likely to be watching this with maybe some guidance. And that's a big reason. At the end of the day, I think we all should want to become the best versions of ourselves. And I think that could, and I think it probably does involve maybe going to somewhere where you are finding more like-minded people. It doesn't have to be a big city. It doesn't have to be moving to Australia, the other side of the world. It might just be somewhere where there just happens to be an influx of people who are like-minded, have similar goals, similar good habits to you, similar mindsets, where you can both grow together. The second is obviously career opportunities. So a lot of people will leave their hometown, wherever that may be, especially in the UK, probably US too, and move to a bigger place. For example, in the UK, everyone tends to want to go to London because there are better opportunities in terms of career, better opportunities for growth, especially financially. For me, that has been something that's never appealed to me, because I've looked at London and I've felt that what you're gaining in terms of financial gain, you're probably going to lose that in terms of the cost of living there, and also the lifestyle where you're constantly on the move. Everything's so fast paced. In terms of your peace of mind, which I value very highly, I would not sacrifice that whatsoever. I don't think London's that nice at all. I don't think it's a nice place to live. I don't think it's particularly safe anymore. But I've already made a video about London, so you can go find that on my channel if you've not seen that before. But a lot of people do that, and a lot of people, especially nowadays, which is very understandable considering the downfall of the UK and the economy in the UK, will go elsewhere. A lot of people will go to Dubai, the Middle East, where the opportunities are beginning to grow, Asia more so. Nowadays, Australia, people are taking opportunities that are outside their home country, hometown, because they'll get paid better, they might have a better lifestyle, which is completely understandable. A lot of people do that. And I think if there is one presented to yourself, I would probably advise you that if it's something you are keen on doing, that you should definitely pack up your bags, give it a go. Worst case scenario, if you come home. Like, that is honestly the worst case scenario, is you have to come back to where you started in your hometown.
and then what, you're back to where you were anyway. And think of all the lessons you're going to learn, all that insight you gained, and it might actually go, the chances are it will go a lot better than you expected. That's what most people don't realise, that when they don't take these risks, chances are it will always work out better. Think of all those stuffs in your mind that doesn't happen. I think it's around 90% of the things we think about don't even happen anyway. So think about that, and think about this next time you're weighed up with a decision: take it safe or take a risk. Well, what really are the downsides to it? Because when you seriously weigh that up, the downsides are probably very small for most people anyway, and the upsides are massive. Because at the end of the day, you've always, if you look at anything where even if you lose, you're gonna win in the other aspect, because you're gonna learn something which could be pay dividends like in abundance in 10-20 years that you just don't realize. So that's why I very much encourage like taking opportunities, taking risks, as long as they are somewhat calculated. A change of scenery, you're just fed up with your hometown. I think that's something that a lot of people, especially in the UK, feel, that maybe yourself, me, I've been here I'm 23, maybe you're a similar age, and you think, okay, well, I've been here all my life, I want to try something different. I don't know exactly where, I don't know exactly doing what, I don't really know what I want to do with my career, I don't really know exactly where would be the best place for me to live, where would I fit in, all the other factors you have to weigh up. There's a lot to consider, and that is a very valid reason. Like, if you're feeling like that, I completely resonate with that, and I understand that it's very natural. I don't think we should be living in the same area our whole lives. I don't think that's good, but obviously a lot of people do this, but I think a lot of comfort just ends up seeking in. Like, you can live a very, very good lifestyle in your hometown, which I'm going to get onto, or your local area. Even like you could move to a different part in your country and again live a very, very good life, and that is something you do have to consider. But I think especially if you are staying very much in like a very close proximity where everything's the same, you know everyone, you've worked the same job your whole life, you've not really pushed in any way, I don't think that's very good for you, and I don't think you're going to live a life to your full potential and life to the maximum fulfillment that you could. But anyway, I want to get into more about maybe why you should consider staying, because this is what a lot of people probably would not speak about. Let's say, yep, come on, it's easy for me to say, like, it makes sense, you know, you've been around your hometown, people around you aren't really have the same mindset as you, it's inevitable that you are going to move on to something better. That's just how it is, that it happens in life, it happens with your career, it happens in sports. You see it all the time, especially football. You see, if a better offer comes, players will leave all the time. There's no loyalty in this, and unfortunately it's probably the same in relationships too. A guy will be dating a girl, and if a better opportunity comes along, if he's honest with himself, he'll take that opportunity. Whether he has the balls to do it or not is a different story, but it is a reality for 9 times out of 10 situations. But anyway, why should you consider staying longer? Well, number one, and most importantly, well, number 1 and 2 very similar and very much important. So financially, if you pack up everything and leave and go to a different city, especially if you move into a different country, there's going to be a lot of costs involved, moving costs, finding somewhere to live. Like if you're living at home, immediately if you move out to either rented or buying a place, that's going to set you back significantly. And this is something you're going to have to weigh up. Like, again, I said it's very good for your growth, but if you're someone who is in a difficult financial situation, it's probably not the thing you should be doing right now. You should probably build up enough money, at least so you're able to stand on your own 2 feet. You've got a decent amount saved up, 5k, 10k, 20k. That if things go slightly wrong, you can afford for 3 to 6 months, where you're kind of like, okay, you're living, you can still survive quite comfortably, but you're not like pinching for pennies and you're not stressed out all the time. That's something you've got to consider, because like I say, yeah, you might be getting paid more, but you were living at home before and now you're paying £1,200 a month in rent. So are you actually any better off? Probably not. You're probably a lot worse off. And family, because naturally you're going to be around a 15-20 mile proximity with all your family around you. Most likely, I know some people have family all over the world, but your intimate family, what's the word? Sorry. Immediate family. Completely forgot that. Yeah, the chances are your parents, your siblings, maybe grandparents are all going to be around the same area. So it's something you're going to consider. Like, are you really going to pack up everything, leave your hometown and go to Australia when everyone around you's in this area? Like, is it really worth it? Well, you don't know anyone. Like, again, I'm not trying to like contradict myself and say that, oh, you said you should do it for your growth and you shouldn't just let people hold you back. You shouldn't let people hold you back, but you've got to understand that there is a trade-off. And for you, what is it that you're prepared to trade off? Are you going to prepare to, maybe you're not too close to your family, so for you it makes sense, but for a lot of other people it probably won't make sense, and it's something that you have to rationally sit down and decide the pros and cons of doing this. And finally, there's no suitable opportunity for you elsewhere currently. I don't think you should just leave your hometown or wherever you're living currently, pack up your bags and like I say, people will go to the other side of the world, go traveling and do all of this stuff with no plan in place. I think it's always good to have a plan. I've said this time and time again on this channel that you should have a plan, allow it to update, modify it as you go along, but having a plan is important. And if you don't have that and you just deciding to pack everything up and move, I don't think that's a great idea. I think it could cause you a lot of headaches. Like someone I know, I heard a story from one of my friends. One of his friends went off to Spain to try live a different life, and things just didn't work out. Their visas ran out, so now they're going to have to come home. They saved up a decent amount of money, they quit their jobs, they went out traveling, and they're coming back with no money, no jobs, no idea really with what they're going to do. They've kind of just spent 1-2 years and they've not really achieved anything with their life. Like for you, maybe that sounds great. Chances are if you're watching this video, it probably doesn't. But people will do that, and I think it's just going to cause you a bigger headache. Like, I'm always one for thinking long term, and whether you think that's boring and whether you think that's the right thing to do, and it's finding that balance between enjoying the moment and thinking about the future like a lot of people do, whether you think that's right or wrong. I think it's very important to think long term. If you want to create yourself a better life in the future, if you want to create your life to make it somewhat easier, like I don't think you should aspire for an easy life, but putting everything in place. Like I say to everyone, my life is very intentional the way it has become over the last couple of years. I've spent the time to work on myself and put certain things in place that make it a certain way, and you have to do this, and it wouldn't be this way if I didn't do it intentionally. And everyone else is doing that, you were doing that too. You have to look at your life, and over the last couple of years, they are a result of your actions that have compounded over time. They are your outputs from the inputs you've put in. So it's something you obviously have to consider when it comes to considering leaving, and when that right moment is. But yes, I want to give you an overall answer. Yes, I think you should over time find somewhere which is the best place for you to live. I don't think we're born in one place and to die in that exact same place. I don't think that is good for us, like I say, for our personal growth. But particularly as you become more successful in your life, in your journey, opportunities are going to arise anyway. So even if you're in your hometown, you're working a job and you think, oh, maybe I could push on a bit more. If you keep pushing on in that, if you keep pushing on with your fitness, if you keep pushing in your personal growth journey, opportunities are gonna arise. Like I know it might sound a bit boring. It's not exactly what you want to hear, because it's not a short, quick, easy answer to be like, yeah, you should pack everything up and go to Thailand and live a lifestyle and live like from your laptop, and you can go out partying and do all this stuff. But a lot of the boring stuff is what makes you rich and successful. Unfortunately, the practical and rational advice that I'm giving you will almost definitely make you very successful if you follow it. Like again, it's your life, live life on your own terms, very important. But again, hopefully you consider this, and maybe this video has helped you if it's something you're considering doing. Because again, like I said, I almost did it, and again, if my personal circumstances had been different, chances are I wouldn't be here. I'd be somewhere else in the world, and my life would have been very different, for better or worse, who knows. Like I say, I'm happy with where I am. We are where we are, and yeah, I hope this video has helped you. I know some of this stuff might not have been too relevant. Maybe I've gone on a bit about some stuff, but hopefully you found this helpful. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. So if you have, like and subscribe. If you want any more guidance on this matter, considering leaving, or considering just anything else, you want help with your mindset, you want help with anything, my personal one-to-one coaching link will be in the description. And yeah, I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.